I got two hands, I got my mouth, I know how to earn money.
She absolutely does. She doesn't miss a trick. Okay. Okay. You're not showing up on the viewership here. Alrighty. I was watching a video, one of these court trials, a court trial involving an 18-year-old, and and I guess this kid had some kind of psychological issues. And I got to sneeze, if you don't mind. Phew! Okay, much better. And he had a girlfriend and all that, and not kind of a tumultuous relationship, really. Uh, and he had a lot of depression, and a lot of times he would just go into his own world. And in fact, one time he tried to hang himself in a closet, and the father and mother came to the rescue of him. They tried different mental facilities and so forth and all that. As it turned out, anyway, he wound up stabbing four different people. And I didn't get the whole gist of the story because I just kind of tuned in on it. And I don't think they were family members, but they were friends and they were female. And this father had to go through this trial. He was very honest and humble, and he didn't excuse the actions of his son, what he did. But obviously, his son was mentally ill and highly depressed. And sometimes, children will hide that from their parents. It doesn't have to be children, peers, whatever. And they'll hide that from their parents. And nobody really knows what's going on in their head. And you just don't know what somebody's actually capable of doing, when they're highly depressed. And it's how they see the world, too. Like the whole world is their enemy, when it's really not. But when you're highly depressed like that, I mean, look at Robin Williams and people of his nature, Anthony Bourdain. These are successful people. They got the money and all the material things, which, you know, doesn't mean a whole lot, really, in the real world. But you think they had their shit together, but then they'll do something like try to kill themselves, if that's certainly what happened with Anthony Bourdain, but we assume that's what it was, and certainly with Robin Williams. Somebody that has it all, they got the money, the fat wallet, all that shit, and they commit suicide. Or in cases with a lot of people who are highly depressed, um, which has become more prevalent in our society, that people are just not happy with themselves and the world around them. They don't know how to deal with the world around them. So they have to take it out on others to make themselves feel good. See, the denominator here is actually something we talk about on my show all the time, isn't it? They're not happy within their own world. Well, it was whatever the problems were self-inflicted, or it's environmental, or bad relationships, or lack of relationships, or low self-esteem, whatever. They're killing each other, even family members. What drives a person that far to do things like that? Did the parents not see this? Or wife or girlfriend or whatever it might be? Did they not get a clue on something somewhere? Not everybody handles their situations very well. And sometimes people need intervention. And a lot of times people don't get any intervention. Now, for example, just coming on YouTube and just mouthing off and, attacking people might be their way of venting their frustrations. And boy, this is such a ongoing topic that it's always worth talking about it a hell of a lot more. Because I've been on here for approximately 10 years. I'm not even really counting. And since I'm very active on YouTube, I could definitely make these statements and say that I've witnessed a lot of very strange behavior on here. I don't know where it comes from, really. something that happened to him as a child, that their father, in some cases, yes, the father sexually abused the child, who then became an adult and was very bitter about everything in life. And we know one guy that was calling people, including myself, a child predator, calling me when he was projecting because his father did exactly that to him. You get the correlation here? You follow me? So he'd act like the poster child of somebody who was against child predatorship, when in fact, the person was a victim of such. And they were acting out the negativity, what they suffered as an adult that carries with you into your adulthood. There's always a reason for somebody's behavior. There's always an underlying situation or condition that kind of prompts this behavior of how bitter some people can be and how they act and react to others around them, whether it's social media or outside social media, their personal life. Now, I admit, I said it many times, I said I've been kind of a, student of human nature all my life, really. And what better place to come is right here on YouTube to see this kind of behavior. And it exists. You see it every day. People making a lot of excuses for their behavior. People making sometimes no sense at all in what they talk about. What they don't understand, they're really talking about themselves. They're not really talking about somebody else. No, I don't buy that. They're talking about themselves. It's almost like an autobiography going on, but some people don't see the clues. They don't read what's really going on with this person. It's quite personal with the person. It's quite personal, and it's actually something that's happening to them. And henceforth, if they're not happy with their own life, you know, they're going to exhibit it in a lot of different ways. Anyway, this court case thing I was looking at, I seen the best part of it, and this poor father sitting on a witness stand, he had to acknowledge what his son did, his mental illness, and the guy was hurting. And they asked him, well, what do you think should be the sentencing for this for your child? Well, he said, I think he could be rehabilitated. I think he deserves a chance at life. And as a father, of course, you're going to say that you want the best for your child. But he knew himself that his child, his 18-year-old, was out of control. And he felt so bad for the victims. He gave a very sincere apology to the stabbed victims that were alive, and he meant it. This was a really sorrowful situation when your child has that kind of mental illness going on, and what damage they caused and disrupted the lives of other people physically and psychologically. It's really sad. Now, we have all kinds of people here on YouTube, as you people have all examined, you've seen it and heard it, and like on a daily basis, really. And sometimes I wonder why people come out here at all. You see, here's the thing, man. You can't. I know I'm probably sounding like Smooth Lee. You know, it's a sort of Smooth Lee style. And Smooth Lee is not that bad a guy. He does talk about some real shit. He does. And I don't watch him on any regular basis, but sometimes he's interesting to listen to. And he spells it out. And I like when people spell things out and don't hold anything back. It's one of these situations. It is what it is, or it's not. Which one is it? So, a lot of people have issues and tissues, and they just bring it to social media. Some people are very socially isolated. I mean, extremely socially isolated. They don't have the woman. They don't. They haven't developed any kind of social standards. Or how they deal with people in society, and they become kind of a lock key type of people that rule their life through social media. And that's how, and the only way that they can communicate with other people when they're so socially isolated. Remember, they ain't got the girlfriend, they none of that. You know, they'll fall in love with a blade of grass. It gets that bad, and we've seen that too. Now, I don't know, man. Do you feel sorry for these people, or do you just think that they need some kind of I don't know, man, something to bind them to society, something positive to happen in their life, a love, or something, meet a woman and examine what real love is, and on a level maybe they never experienced before. It's not the physical act of love and intercourse. It's on a deep emotion where, oh my God, somebody actually cares for me. And then it's when you get all your self esteem back that you realize that you have personally socially isolated yourself. That's what you did. It's not anybody else's fault. You socially isolated yourself in certain ways and fashions. And you can't blame anybody else but yourself. But once they get out of that shell and realize there is life out there, and as I say on all shows, that life is limited. It's so limited. I can't say it enough. Life is limited, man. Take each day with appreciation. If you got something good going in your life, man, you're one of the lucky few people. And if you don't, it's up to you to make that change in your life because your pattern of behavior can change to be even more negative. You could actually become very physically violent. When you're so mad at the world and then you're really just mad at yourself and you want to lash back at everybody because you perhaps are lacking what somebody else has. And you become to the point where you're living your life vicariously through somebody else. That you want to beat that other person, but you can't beat that other person. You can't have that person's relationship. You can't have that person's stability in life. And it pisses you off, doesn't it? It just really pisses you off. So you got to react to that by calling people names, trying to mar their character because, you know, you are feeling so void of all the things that other people have. And you want to lash out at people for having what they don't have. Then their mental illness, it progresses. They'll even become violent. You don't know how far they'll take something. And maybe these people never met you in real life. But there's a distinct possibility that these people could want to inflict harm on you and they never met you before. It happens. It has happened to a lot of people in the world. But they were envious of your life for whatever reason. And there's no excuse for that behavior. Don't get me wrong. There is no excuse for that behavior. Get mental help. Seek counseling. Seek medication if you need it. You got to be willing to do something for yourself to make your life better. In my life, I've had my struggles and challenges. Oh, hell yeah. I've had a lot of struggles and challenges in my life that I don't talk about because it's quite personal. Although I get kind of personal on here, there are things I don't talk about. But I've had challenges in relationships. I've had some really down points in my life. I really have. Never to the point of committing suicide or anything like that. That's not in my repertoire of thoughts or actions. But people get to that point. They want to take victims with them. Innocent people. And you gotta watch it on YouTube. Because you don't know the whole psychology of people on here. You really don't. Because people are capable. I am, you are, of capable of doing some pretty radical shit. in a moment of unclarity, you could take it upon yourself to inflict harm on somebody else who's been giving you a hard time for a long time. You may snap. It happens. Believe me, I came across a couple of situations with a couple of YouTubers, and I could have snapped, but I held back, knowing the ramifications of such behavior. I had the clarity to say, no, don't don't do it this way. Take a breath, deal with it in a different way. Don't cause harm to somebody else, though. I would find that hard to do, really. But as a human, you don't know your course, of dealing with somebody. And sometimes you'll do things that you'll regret later on. So violence is never the answer. And I try to live by that. But of course, if it was self-protection, that's a whole nother story. Everything goes and anything goes. But if you're having that much psychological problems, then you do need counseling, medication, whatever it is you might need. Don't get to that point and stop putting your frustrations out on other people. And you take to social media to do it. What a perfect place. It's like the perfect storm. The vent. You're behind your protective phone or laptop, and you live possibly a long distance away, and you figure you can say and do anything you want. Well, you think you can, but one never knows, right? You can commit crimes and think you can get away with it in another country. Nobody cares, right? Nobody's going to do anything, right? That's not true. Obviously not. And they'll push an issue. They'll push you. They want to see how far they can push you. But that doesn't always turn out to be advantageous for the person that's doing the pushing and shoving. Generally, it doesn't. There's been a lot of cases that maybe a lot of you all have not heard about, but worldwide, where people on social media have gone well beyond the name calling and have done some horrendous things to other YouTubers, people that they never met, probably would have never met. They go out of their way to try to remedy a problem, but they do it in the wrong way. It's not like, let's meet and have a cup of coffee and let's discuss this. And it's not always like that. YouTubers are getting killed all the time by other YouTubers, competition of their shows. They don't agree with something morally, politically, or whatever, They have different ideas about what's proper and what's not proper, and they'll argue back and forth and say, no, you're wrong, no, I'm right. The other guy said, no, you're wrong and I'm right. Things get kind of inflamed, just goes on for a long period of time. And sometimes things happen. They take the wrong route to handle the problem. But sometimes you're forced to do things you don't want to do. That's happened with me. But as I listened to this court trial thing on YouTube, it was a court TV type of thing, a recorded court case, where a father, his son, 18-year-old, that stabbed 4 or 5 people out of total frustration and depression and whatever kind of psychosis this guy was going through. It happens when people are highly depressed. But when you spend an inordinate amount of time on social media and you absorb yourself in somebody's life where it gets to be on a daily basis, and your excuse is, well, subs, donations, let's create some drama. You got to watch out because you don't know who you're going to piss off. And it may not be words. It may not be a court case. It may not be anything legal. Sometimes, according to somebody's psychology, and they're not going to announce it, they may do things that go well beyond the verbal part of the friction that's going on. And you got to really watch yourself because you don't know. You got to handle things with kid gloves sometimes. You watch what you're doing. You're in another country too. And you don't have to be living in another country. This is everyday life. I mean, I think our society has become so complicated. People are so stressed out. Financial things usually affect people a lot. Relationship issues, marriage issues, whatever might apply, and they don't know how to handle it properly. And they get so frustrated that they take out their frustrations on the very person they're supposed to love. Where deep love turns into deep hate because maybe, I don't know, you got rejected, or maybe somebody pointed out something about you, whether it was your wife or girlfriend, that pointed out some of your negative qualities, and you didn't like it, and you got really defensive, and then you turned offensive after a while and took out your frustrations on the woman. This happens every fucking day, guys. Somewhere in the world, like they always say, it's 5 p.m. somewhere in the world. Let's drink and party. Well, this kind of shit goes on in the world every single day, every minute of the day. Somebody is hurting somebody else verbally, physically. Some people are taking other people's lives because of their own frustrations that they didn't want to take care of. They didn't want to address. They didn't want to go to counseling. They didn't want to go see a psychologist or somebody or a psychiatrist. Some people need that help. Tell you what, I'm the kind of guy that when I've had a serious relationship going, and a couple of times I've actually did this. We got a problem. Let's go see a counselor. Let's see one of these MSW people, whatever, masters in social work, whatever. Kind of a third party who could see things from a different perspective because they're not involved in a relationship. I've actually done that. And the funny story, actually, I mentioned this years ago, but it was true. I'm not kidding you. I was dating this one guy. We had a few problems, but I wanted to go on my own and get some idea without the girlfriend being present. And I went to see this one counselor. She was very attractive, very down to earth, kind of, well, peasant dress type of chick, kind of almost looked that way. And I'm telling her my story about this woman I was dating to get a different perspective, rather than couples therapy. And within a couple of sessions, and I'm not making this shit up, I told this story years ago. This woman found herself attracted to me and admitted it. We can't do any more sessions. It's this professional ethics thing. And she was attractive. And the woman I was actually dating at the time, that I was actually, why I was there, I realized that maybe the woman I was dating at the time wasn't for me. And what do you call that when you, I don't know, you go on for somebody else after, I don't know, a breakup or something, you just right away you're getting in a relationship. But anyway, it was like, I said, well, okay, well, as far as getting together, she thought about it. She was going, because she had broke up. The counselor had trouble in her own relationship and had broke up. But she was about to get together with me. And of course, it could no longer be a client. But I said, well, if I'm not a client, if I'm not a client of yours anymore, then what's the problem? Let's end our relationship in a counseling room. Only happens with Frank, right? Okay, she thought about it. And we were going to get together, and I was talking on the phone with her and all that. Well, the thing with the professional ethics really bothered her. Then she tells me, well, I just decided to try to get back with my boyfriend. And I'm thinking, oh, come on, seriously? I said, we're no longer, say patient and counselor. It's all good. Yeah, she would have been an interesting girlfriend, actually. Professional, she had brains, and it could be better than having a counselor as a girlfriend. Although that may not have worked because she might be analyzing you all the time, and that's what she does for a living. And being in a relationship with somebody that's going to be analyzing you, you used to be their client, not really patient, but client, might not work out. So maybe it worked out for the best. But that was kind of funny. I mean, the way things work out for me sometimes. I got something good going, then a wrench is thrown into the machinery, but then maybe for a good purpose. Maybe I don't realize that this thing, whatever happened for the best, you know. And maybe if you broke up with a woman or something, maybe it was for the best. Like in hindsight, you look back and say, no, that wasn't really right. What was I thinking of? Was I just settling for this woman? You don't want to settle for somebody. The worst thing you can do out of loneliness is to settle. And a lot of expats, they come here and they want to hang on to the first woman that they meet. They put their heart and soul and their wallet into it too. That's what they're doing wrong. That relationship is never going to work out, as thousands of expats have found out. But kind of moving back and kind of get back on target what I'm talking about here. Um, you don't know somebody's psychology, shall I call it, and just be careful who you're dealing with. Be very, very careful. You don't know what their capabilities are. You don't know what mine are. I don't know what yours is. I may have an idea, but you just never know what somebody's going to do. Some YouTubers might think they're out of the picture. This guy's not going to pursue me after what I said about his girlfriend or family or about him. They don't think twice about it. He's never going to do anything. So they continue to do the things they do. So someday they get a big surprise. That could happen. That could happen with people. Could happen with YouTubers. Watch what you say on here, man. They are listening. And guess what? I'm listening too. I certainly am. I don't miss a trick. I'm that proverbial fly on the wall. I try to know what's going on with people in this genre, if not for my own protection, my own knowledge. I got my finger on the pulse of the Philippines genre. I certainly do. More than people know. And why should I? Well, for my own protection. Because if you choose to do social media, you have a responsibility. I have a responsibility. You have a responsibility, even as a viewer, or if you have your own show. We all have a responsibility when we get involved with social media, because you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know, as I always say, what's going on behind the scenes of these people's lives. Are they really living that premium life that they claim they're living? You've seen their psychology or heard it on their shows, but how about off the show? What's going on in their lives outside of them talking or putting on a YouTube show or commenting on a YouTube show? What's really going on in their lives? You don't know. Could be a lot of great things. Could be a lot of pretty sick things too, man. Just be aware of that. Just be aware of that. Why are you putting comments kind of flowing, then you're retracting it? Oh, I don't know what you're doing. I'm sorry, I'm not always looking at the screen. But all the time I've been on YouTube, yeah, I've experienced some pretty interesting shit. It's too bad I didn't just write all this shit down. Or put a novel together or something. But without any kind of professional training in, psychotherapy, psychiatry, any kind of counseling training, anything, you've been on here long enough, you see things that maybe other people don't see. If you're the type that likes to analyze things, and I do analyze things. I read between the lines quite a bit. And I know when somebody on here has the potential of doing harm to others. Some people stalk other people on here. We know that to be true, don't we? Be careful what you say. Be careful of what you do on social media because they're watching. They're listening very intently. And they may snap. Snap. And you don't know what they have done outside of YouTube, whether they've hurt people before, killed people, raped people. You don't know because they're going to come out and tell you, I just raped 3 women in my, I got a body out in the field somewhere. You don't fucking know anything. You think you know these people in here, but you don't. You don't know how deep their psychology goes. How do you know they're sick people, though? We got a guy living in Florida that comes on and puts the most hateful shows on, who's not happy with his life at all. And you can tell. It's not speculation. It's fact. What all they can talk about is hateful shit. Wishing that you die. Well, those people got really serious problems. I mean, really serious problems. January 18th, snap. What? Oh. Well, yeah, snap. I like the word. Some people will snap. What is a kind of a handle is that? January 19th. And what's this number 2? Crown with a number 2. I've seen this before. What is that? Anyway, if you are going to become part of the social media community, as much as it might be hard to do, and sometimes you're drawn into this, but try to stay as much away and just try to be very topical. In fact, you don't have to do live streams. I've always said that. You're probably better off just doing uploads and stuff. And although it's nice interacting with your audience, and for some people it's a monetary thing, they want to get some super chat and buy me a coffee and all this, what other shit, And that's why they do live streams. But as I said, some of the more successful people just do uploads. And just don't get really that involved with their audience. Just kind of like say what you need to say, get your point out on your show, then retreat till your next show. Try not to get so personally involved in other people's lives on here. When it gets to the point that people are researching you, they want to find out all the dirt on you, that's a real big indicator of what's going on in their life. Oh, don't get me wrong, I've done my research on people. Most people do it for me. I don't even have to most of the time. It just comes to me. I don't make much effort on here. I know when somebody's bullshitting me and not. I will analyze and say, no, I'm not buying this story about this person that they died when I know they didn't die and there's no proof or something. To try to test me out to see how gullible I am. I've had a few gullible moments in my YouTube career, if we should call it a career, a sanatorium. But I've come a long way. I don't believe everything people say, unless I know it's a fact, one way or the other. I could definitely tell you if somebody really don't respect women when they call them hoes. Anybody who makes a reference to women as hoes in general, as a whole, as a package deal, and they're calling people hoes, then you know they're not successful socially in their life with women. It doesn't take much to figure that out. All I'm really saying, people, is self-examine yourself, man, before you make judgments on anybody else. All the things I've ever been accused of on here, if I really did all those things, I'd be like the world's public enemy number one. It's impossible to do all the things that I've been accused of. If I was that guilty of something, I wouldn't be a YouTube show. I'd be in hiding, just like when somebody's after Popeye. He goes into hiding for 6 months to a year. That's a prime example. Or Jay, who puts the most horrible shows out about me and other people, then he'll take his channel down right away. Hit and run. And not to say that I never take down some of my shows, but sometimes I find them boring, some of my own shows, and I'll take them down. And sometimes I figure I don't have to leave them on because somebody just copies it anyway. And they're promoting me. I mean, it's funny as hell because they're promoting my channel. And I've gained a lot of subscribers from other people promoting my channel. Maybe they're doing something in a negative way. They want to know, who's this guy anyway they're talking about? And people have come to their own evaluations about somebody. And people have, at least some people have common sense to figure it out that this guy can't be doing all those things. It's impossible. Let me find out for myself what this guy is really. Let me listen to him for a while. Let me make my own conclusions about the guy. Never mind a hair saying what other people say. Let me make my own conclusions. Don't get influenced by other people on here. That's your worst problem. Don't let people influence on you on here about somebody else. You find out in your own way and decide whether you like somebody on here or not and why. Examine why you like them and examine why you don't like them. Yeah, maybe I'm in the wrong profession here. I'm always giving out advice. But like I said, you give that advice. It could be your own family members. They don't take it, so you stop giving advice. And sometimes it's hard not to. I mean, a lot of people in this world have gone to the school of hard knocks. Because you went to the school of hard knocks doesn't mean you can't graduate into society and become a contributing member of society and realize that shit happens and not everybody's life goes perfect. But, you're in charge of yourself and you could improve upon the things that you need improvement on in your life instead of being stagnant and, just falling deeper and deeper into your rut and your depression and attacking people all the time. Well, I need something to eat here for breakfast, guys. I'm going to have to go. But contrary to what a lot of people believe, I'm not listening to all the troll channels on here. I gain a lot of knowledge. I love YouTube, and I don't mean particularly my genre here, Philippines. It's been so informative to me through the years, such a learning process of what you could learn on YouTube if you listen to the right shows, whether they're doctors, nutritionalists, whether they're people who have had maybe experiences that you've had before. It doesn't have to be health topics. It could be just life topics that you could learn. And a lot of times you learn from people that are older because they've had more life experiences too. You sooner, better to listen to somebody who's at an advanced age compared to some young person who has not really experienced a lot of life. I have experienced a lot of life, more than some people know. Let me tell you, I've had my ups and downs, brother. I certainly have. Like a seesaw. I've had my ups and I've had my downs, brother. I've had my share. But unlike some people, I've got a lot of strength, and I don't mean muscle strength. I got a lot of inner strength that keeps me going every single fucking day. Adversities, you handle them. Don't give in to them. Handle them. Be strong.
Charge your phone because
We're going to have a
burn out 8:30.
Oh, not again.
Only in po.
And what? Gonna be all day
No, until 12.
until 12. Okay, well, apparently got to charge my
Shower.
phone here. There's going to be a brownout at 8:30 until noon. I don't understand. They got gerbils generating the system here. I don't understand it.
The shower.
Yeah, do what you need to do. Okay, I better go here. Hope you enjoyed my show. But I do these shows because I want people to think. Just consider it I don't know, a community service of some sorts. I don't know why I even fucking bother. I even fucking care. That's kind of who I am. I can't help being who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. As I said, I've done stupid things in my life I will regret the rest of my life, but I've also done wonderful things too. I'm very proud of. And you too can do nice things for people and stop putting shows on and just attacking and harassing people because it makes you feel good because you don't feel good about yourself, and that's pretty sad. I'm sorry, but that's pretty damn sad if you have to do that all the time. We all have our moments where we're going to lash out, and I certainly have. I think we all have. But I'm going to tell you something. It doesn't make things better for you. And see, if you can't change yourself, don't expect people to do favors for you. Don't expect people to come to your rescue, because they won't. You can't be self-serving all the time, is what I'm trying to say. You can't be self-serving. That doesn't usually work out very well. Try giving a little bit. Try being understanding to other people and not joining the boys club. And some people, they turn out, they call themselves the high roaders, or we label them as such because they take the high road, but are they really on the high road? Or is their intent just to attack people, to get credit for something that they don't deserve? You guys hear me doing a lot of speeches on here, man. I don't mind. Because actually, it is a little bit self-serving, I must admit. It serves me to talk about shit like this because it really reinforces things that I believe in and about myself and so forth. As you see, I don't come on here doing nonsense shows all the time, and I have fun sometimes, and I'll talk about this, I'll talk about that. I like a little entertainment myself. I really do. But I get serious a lot on here too. And it's not all fun and games on here, and that's not what I treat my show as. It's not all fun and games all the time. We talk about reality. We talk about, and maybe I help people kind of self-examine. And a lot of people don't want to admit to their faults. I will admit. I would admit to my fault. What it's due, what it's proper, when it's real. I will admit. But a lot of people will not. Examine yourself before you start your fucking fingers at somebody else. See go examine why your life is so adequate. And stop being envious of people who are living a little better life than you do, perhaps, when you're in charge of yourself. Stop being envious of other people and say, I'm not envious. Why would I be envious of him? I would not want his life. Bull dinky. Bull dinky. Bullshit. Stop being jealous and envious of people and live your life, and maybe you'll have something that somebody else has. And maybe you get to... All right, maybe it's good timing. I was in a bad spot here. All right, maybe it's good timing. I was in a bad spot here. But I gotta charge my phone, and I gotta start prepping the generator, because we're gonna be out of electricity until noontime. Well, just the Philippines, and living in the province. You're going to experience a lot of blackouts, and they call them brownouts if they're not really long. To me, it's a blackout. But I hope people really absorb what I have to say on here. I know some people think, there goes Frank. with his speeches, philosophizing about this and that. Why not? Why not get it out? Tell me how you really feel. If you hate my guts, tell me why. Did you ever self-examine? If you don't like somebody on here, did you ever examine yourself and ask yourself that question? What is the real reason? Is it because you were influenced by somebody else not to like the other person? I make my own judgments on my own, not by what somebody else thinks about somebody on here. I might even see some of the trolls as having some really good qualities. There might be actually something I like about some of the trolls, maybe something they talked about. I see and try to find the goodness in people if it exists. If it simply don't exist, I just give up on it. I say, no, there's no hope for these people. Let them do whatever they're going to do, but it's not benefiting their life by hating on others, man. It takes a lot for me to hate somebody. And I actually don't even Barry. I don't even hate Barry. I dislike the things he's done. And even certain trolls on here. I might find them to be despicable, disgusting, not very well informed. I can see their obvious flaws in their life. I don't have to hate on somebody. Like John Blaze or something, it was Frank hating on people. No, John Blaze was hating on people by what he says on his shows. So is other people. They're hating on people. And generally people they never met personally, and they never spent enough time with a person to really know what they're all about. But they make their own instant judgments. When they don't know the person, oh, somebody says something bad about somebody, to take it for the gospel truth. They must be like that. If somebody, it's on the internet. If it's on the internet, it must be real. No, there's more bullshit on the internet that could fucking meet your eye. There's more bullshit than fact. But there's people even like, I don't know, Smoot Lee, and there's other people too, that really talk about things that a lot of people don't want to talk about. Smoot Lee's one of them, and I don't agree with everything he says, and I don't watch him religiously at all. I happen to subscribe, and he shows up on my thing. Oh, Smoot Lee's doing a show. What's he going to talk about today? But then I hear a lot of bullshit stories, some British people, and they're talking about all the negativity in life. Well, do not enjoy their life if everything is negativity. You're finding fault with the Philippines. Every woman's out to scam you. Then you got people like Nico that calls women hoes, and you learn a lot about these people by what they say. And they're mostly a lot of hypocrites that are not doing the things that they're blaming other people of. I mean, they're not doing things the right way in their own life. Their life is out of control. And I could name more names, and you know who they are. But they're not satisfied with one woman, and their lives are out of control. And I gotta go. That's my show. Enjoy it. Listen to what I had to say. Listen and learn. At least on my channel, I can say that. I do try to give good advice out. It's not always taken. And maybe I should stop giving advice. Because it really doesn't matter to me on another level. I'm more concerned about what's going on in my life, not everybody else's, but I do take the time on my show to talk about some of these issues. And of course, I'll get attacked for it. People need to self-reflect on themselves. Don't worry about me, how much money I have, whether I had bankruptcies, how many women I've had, or what they say I didn't have, whether I went to college or not and have a diploma, whatever. Whether I had some kind of success in my life, or I've done things that I feel personally that have been accomplishments. I'm the one that determines whether I've achieved anything in my life that I see as an accomplishment or some kind of contribution to society in one form or way. If I was a really rich person, I'd be a philanthropist. I would be a lot more giving than I can. That's just who I am. I can't expect everybody to be that way. And I do a lot of great things for people too. But people don't want to see that side of me, and I can't help that. They're going to make their assessments of you, whether you like it or not. But it's all a matter of how they're living their life and what's going on in their life that might not be that cool. They may be in a high depression, but they got to come out here and vent out all their problems on somebody else. They want to make somebody else feel bad because they feel bad about themselves, and that's my show. Thanks for listening. Oh my God. I'm telling you. Wow. Always a few more people show up here. What is involved? Having a wedding ceremony and what is involved in the planning and the cost and the hidden cost and the hidden cost. Whoa. Of course, it's cheaper than in America, of course. Keep that in mind. I was listening to a local vlogger, and I mean local meaning right here where I live. Hey, Counterflow, what's up, man? Yeah. I got exhausted. I was even thinking of taking a half of a fucking alprazolam after listening to, my heart rate was going up. And he was explaining what he had to go through to get married in high detail. He was explaining the costs, procedures to have a church wedding. He wasn't baptized. He had to get baptized. Oh, I'm just starting. I'd make you listen to his channel, but I don't want you to start attacking him. He can explain it better. I could feel my heart rate going up from start to finish what he had to do. The planning, the different forms, besides, capacity to marry, that's just, the beginning of it. The planning from what the bridesmaid, what the bride is going to be wearing, what he's going to be wearing. Then she wants some extras. And she wants new shoes. She can basically rent her dress and all that stuff. The veil will cost you extra. She didn't want to wear somebody's extra shoes. Used shoes. She wanted to buy her own. That's just a start. How many people? They had to have a seating chart so that nobody could just walk in from the outside at the reception and have a free meal. Everybody was assigned a seating. But this is not all the details leading to even to the reception. If any of you had any idea what's involved in getting married, a formal wedding, and I laugh because when I got married, I got my paperwork from the city when I was in Seattle, and I flopped down $40 to a preacher in a place called Chapel of the Bells off the highway. It's a good thing that's all I did. There was an omen too, because my daughter was in my girlfriend's arms while we were getting married. And she was crying like it was an omen. It was an omen. Oh, it was. Thank you, Shauna, for the omen, but yeah. I slapped down $40. There's no honeymoon, there's nothing. Because, the whole idea was to make the legitimacy of the child, have my name. It wasn't like a love affair of the century, anything like that. And thank goodness that's all I did. Then we went back home, got undressed, and hey, we're married. There we go. But the rituals that go on with a marriage here, now this guy explained all, and it wasn't a lot of money. He spent maybe over $3,000 for everything. Food, this, that, other expenses. I mean, the amount of people that are involved in a wedding ceremony. You're talking the caterers, the workers, the church, the fees for renting a hall or whatever. There's a huge list. And I thought he was finished. Then he comes up with more expenses and what they had to do for this or that. It takes about 6 months of planning, it almost seems, to get married out here. Not to mention you have to go for this counseling thing for marriages. I'm like, you love each other? You don't need a marriage certificate to love each other unless, you want to go for 13A or some shit like that or something. Certain legalities, perhaps, but, it's not worth getting married in the Philippines. And I heard this laundry list And he gave it detail by detail by detail by detail. Then when I thought he stopped, he came back with more procedures you had to go through. And I'm like, I hope you love this woman, man. She worked to go through all that shit. And this guy's not a rich guy or nothing like that, but yeah, if you had to get married and do the same thing, in America it would cost a minimum $40,000, not $3,000 or $4,000, but everything from the cake. If you could add an extra tier to the cake, that was another, how much money? $26 more. And he kept on adding up, and he said all these small things added up to huge bills. Huge. And he went into detail. Every item that was required for the reception besides food, then giving out these little contests, whatever, having these little gift bags. I was like, felt my heart rate rising. Hello. I really did. Yeah, pass the benzos, buddy. Seriously. Go back on him. After listening to this guy, he's a good guy, by the way. His wife seems very nice, what I know of her. It's, you know, the wedding ceremony is really for the woman. Most women want to have a glamorous wedding at your expense, of course. They won't leave anything out. They'll drain you dry. They just want to look their best. They want to be very memorable. They want their friends to be envious, see them getting married, and the elaborate ceremony, prayer sessions, the whole regimental thing you have to go through that you have to pre-plan. Who's going to be walking down the aisle? I've attended this wedding. I was actually part of the wedding ceremony, actually. Me and Gilda, when somebody was getting married, we invited. We weren't just walking in from the audience, you know. I had to get the, what do you call that white shirt? You got to wear it for your lawyers wear it. I forgot the name of it. I had to get that, and black pants and shoes and all that stuff. And we were actually part of the wedding ceremony. And everything was so regimental and so planned out. When you were going to start walking down the aisle, before the bride and the groom would start entering their marriage ceremony, everything that happened before that. But the planning is like nightmare, a total nightmare to get married. If anybody says, I just elope and save the money for a down payment on a house or buy a car, absolutely, man. Eldest child getting married. I don't know if she was the eldest, but holy shit. I was listening to this guy, and he decided to tell his audience from soup to nuts, start to finish, what he went through to get married. And I'm saying, damn, I'll go with the status quo. Not worth it. People go through elaborate weddings, unless they're really wealthy. They don't miss that money, but, you know. But then some people struggle just to come up with that money for the wedding because, you know, they want to satisfy the woman. It's not the man. He'd sooner do what I do, just elope or just pay $40 to a fucking preacher, get your marriage certificate. Hey, we're married. Just another day. But women, they want, then there's photographers and videographers, and I can't think of how many people were involved in just one wedding ceremony and the reception. And then you want to add in all the offices, legal offices and stuff you had to go to. You know, everything from, doing a seminar and all this other shit, and for her too, and getting this stamped and that stamped, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's really all for her. See, the guy wants to please her, right? The average Filipino is not going to go through a simple ceremony. They want to make it a big thing, invite all their relatives, all their friends. Even the cost of transportation for the guests, renting vans. I mean, this is so elaborate. It's not even an expensive wedding we're talking about. By any standards, American or Filipino. But He didn't spend a lot of money, but by Filipino standards, it's a lot. But to me, it would be more of a headache to go through something like that. No, if the girl wants to look pretty, it's her special day. I understand that, but the guy's spending his fucking money so she could have her day. Well, what about his day? It's his day too. Maybe he needs a new pair of shoes instead of the rented pair he got with his, how do you call it, a barangay shirt? I forgot what the fuck you call it. I wore that to a ceremony too. Looks like a lawyer's white shirt, little ruffles, whatever. Was Fozzie ever married and he have children? Supposedly he had a kid, but he never talked about it. He might have mentioned once. I guess they wanted nothing to do with him. He only spent maybe less than 4,000 American dollars. But that's a lot for Filipino. But it seemed that it would be a hell of a lot more than that. The people that were involved, then he had to make sure that they had extra food because he had what you call the plus ones, you call them, coming in. In other words, you had so many people that were invited to the wedding and for the reception. And you know how it is in the Philippines. People will invite themselves to the reception. Oh, yeah, that happens all the time. There's a party. People will walk in. They were never invited. They just want to get a free fucking meal. So they had to arrange things. Everybody had the seating order. And the number of seats, that was it. And anybody who exceeded that were not invited. So that was a smart thing they did. It's standard in the culture here. If you have a party, for example, that it's expected that people are going to have their doggy bags. And they're going to take it home for their family so they don't have to buy or prepare another a dinner. It's pretty standard issue out here. And some people are cautious about that and they don't allow that, but people that like Fozzie used to bring his doggy bag into the shrimp house. That's the shrimp place, you know, remember that? And he'd sneak things in his bag to bring home. Well, that's culturally, I mean, that's what they do out here. And they come there to eat and stuff their face and then, you know, take food home too. But some people running the party says, yeah, please do. Because we made a lot, you know, and it was for the people and, you know, we've had plenty for ourselves and they would say it's okay for you to take something home. Oh, if they really knew the person, you know, they might even bring you some food. Say, here, take this home with you, you know. But a lot of people just take advantage of it and they're not eating. They're getting full plates, which is not good because they're taking food from somebody else. It's from somebody else's mouth that are legitimately there for the party, you know. I've seen it myself in action. I witnessed it, yeah. And then they run out of food and somebody else hasn't even had their plate yet. They've been waiting in a long line to fill up their plastic plates. And boy, they fill them up, let me tell you. They fill them up 4 inches high because they don't want to wait in line again. But they want to go back for seconds, which winds up going in the doggy bag to bring home for another meal. Now, I never thought that was cool. But if it's okay with the person who's, say, hosting the party, okay, yeah, then that's okay. But, yeah, I was listening to this guy. I said, holy shit, with my lack of patience and, you know, how irritated I would get to go through all this hoopla, man, I'd sooner say, man, forget that shit. Hey, I'm happy with my status quo. I have no problem with it. And at my age, I don't need to get fucking married anyway. Whether you have to go through annulments, whatever you have to go through, it's not worth the money. It's not worth the effort. It's just not. Do you love your partner? Yes or no? There you go. Success. You can use that money for something else. Oh, I don't know, a trip. Or you need some household appliances or, like, you know, vacation, whatever. Medical emergency. But to spend and go broke in the process, what some foreigners do, just to satisfy the woman, they want that fancy Catholic wedding with all the bells and whistles, and they don't get back much anyway from contributions. Now, if you're familiar with Philippines culture, the bride and groom will do a dance after the wedding, and they'll give out these red envelopes, whatever, and people will, generally, what they'll do sometimes is tape it on the bride or groom while they're dancing, and that's the contributions. They also have gift bags that the bride and groom prior have to provide in case people want to provide gifts. Everything made of paper, everything made of plastic, everything gifts they have to buy. Okay, so uh, they don't always do very well making money from contributions. So you never really make back the money you put out on a wedding. Although some people do. It's according who you invite for guests. You have some wealthy people. They'll be very generous. And you might be able to come out square. If you could, you're being lucky. But you can't count on that either. Yeah. So, is it worth getting married in the Philippines or getting married at all? And I don't care where the hell you live. But you see, in the culture, if you got pregnant, now that's a different story. And again, about the saving face in the culture here. Oh, yeah. Saving face. It's real. It happens. They don't want people to think that she's having a baby out of wedlock. They will talk to the guy and say, listen, it's a shotgun wedding is what it is. If you're going to marry my daughter, no, if you're going to be with my daughter, we are practicing Catholics here, you got to understand that. You know, we practice what we preach, we believe in God and we do all these godly things. But God forbid the neighbors or friends know that, their daughter got pregnant out of marriage, out of wedlock. They're not going to have that. They're going to tell the guy straight on, you're marrying my daughter, motherfucker, whether you like it or not, to save face for the family. And who the fuck wants a shotgun wedding like that? Yeah. Yeah, a little extra show here today. And the reason I'm doing this is because I had just got finished listening to this guy give all the minute details, start to finish, and what he had to go through, what he had to spend. I can think of money better well spent than that, unless you're like really wealthy and you don't mind celebrating, have your friends come over to celebrate and all that stuff. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that if that's what you plan, but a lot of these couples, they put themselves in financial jeopardy to satisfy the woman, or the family, to get married and go through that whole ceremony. And there's quite a bit involved.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, babe. Yeah, hold on a minute. I was listening to that local guy's show, and he was telling about everything it took for him to marry his Filipina. I couldn't believe everything from the paperwork, from the planning. He was given detail, that's what I'm telling the audience, as to everything he had to do, the trips back and forth, because he was getting married in Naga, and what he had to do, everything from the cinema, everything from the minus detail, down to the guest, down to the clothing they had to wear, whether they rented or bought, down to the paperwork. And I'm saying,
All the time. All things to do, a lot.
I couldn't believe it. I almost wanted to pop a fucking bitch.
Processing,
Practice.
requirements, reception.
Even the dog is reacting.
Yeah. You want to go out? Okay.
I'm like, holy shit. No, 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 no. Look, I always said it and I meant it. I was married once. And I said, that is enough for me. I don't care how much I love my woman. And I'm getting to be an old fart anyway. What the hell I need to get married at this age and do things so I could get married and all that shit that's involved and money and all the hoopla. I think I'd probably die of a heart attack in the process of getting all this shit done, to tell you the truth. take my word, man. Just, you know, be happy with what you got. Don't fucking get married. You're doing it for her anyway. But I know you want to please your Filipina. I know how this shit works. I understand the whole process. And believe me, I do. It's, I don't know. I just think it's not worth it. After listening to him, and I mean, look. I knew all this stuff anyway. I had a pretty good idea what's involved in this whole process of getting married. But when I listened to him, he mentioned a lot more things that were involved. And I was saying, man, she better be worth it. She better damn well be worth it to go through all that. Then there's practice, and everybody's got to get together and do like a, what do you call a makeshift wedding, and make sure everything is just perfect and everything goes the way it's going to be planned and everybody knows their part, everybody knows their position. You'd think it was a fucking presidential inauguration or some shit. Now, I said it, man. I was married once, and that was it for me. And thank goodness I didn't spend a fortune on her, because in the end, it was not going to be worth it. And you gotta follow your instinct sometimes. You really do. Follow your instinct. Is this a gal you want to marry? And if so, I mean, it's okay. It's okay, but to each his own. But it's not for me. Charles, as far as you remember, in some old-fashioned cultures, the bed sheets were provided as proof the bride was a virgin. Yes, they did. In Italy, they do that. I could definitely tell you that. Well, the old-fashioned, I guess they still probably do it. They will put the bed sheets out on a clothesline on a building, as if to say, "See, my daughter, she's a virgin before she married. See, there's blood on the sheet." That's amazing what they do. See blood on the sheet. My daughter, she wasn't no putan. She was a good girl. She was a good girl. But then, if the sheet was hung up and there was no blood on it, it would be an embarrassment to the whole family. But I think they didn't put that sheet out, is what I think. I think they didn't put that sheet out if there was nothing on it. But imagine displaying the blood of your daughter to show everybody that, no, my daughter's no putan. She's no hoe. She's no whore. She's pure as a saint. The Virgin Mary. Yeah, they're hiding things too. And maybe they put a sheet out and put some tomato ketchup on it. Or maybe the girl had a period and said, "Hey, don't waste this, honey. Let's use this on the sheet." They did that too. Of course they did. Modern day, I don't think they're doing any of that shit. I don't know. You may have some people that still practice that part of the culture. Perhaps, I don't know. I don't think certainly as much, but imagine going through all that. I don't know. I don't know. I can't imagine. It seems like such a freaking headache. That's just because maybe you don't want to get married in the church and bigger. Doesn't mean you don't love your partner. I just think it's an enormous waste of money. Call me Cuddy Put, whatever you want to call me. I don't give a shit. You call me everything else in the world. I don't give a fuck. To me, it's a waste of money. You could invest that money. You could, make a trip. Or put in the bank for a rainy day or an emergency or something. That's a good idea. Because these things do happen. These things do happen. Oh, he's sitting at the table out here. Look at you. The life of leisure. With a cup of coffee, talking on the phone. God bless her. God bless her. We're living happy. I'm not married to her. We're happy. I don't need to have a fucking marriage certificate. Is there love in a relationship? Yes, there is. That's the most important thing. People waste their money too much. But a lot of times, it's really to satisfy, it's not really the men that want to have this marriage and go through all this routine. It's the women. It's their moment. It's their moment. They want to look as beautiful as they ever looked in their life for their wedding. All for photographs, all for videos. They want to be able to look back on this. Now, we used to laugh at Barry, but believe it or not, I'm going to give him a little credit for something in here. If you would find it's amazing to come from me. We all laughed about his LED box ring. You know, I still think about it and I laugh. But the fact is, he didn't have money, right? And you know, it's a thought that counts. You know, I think he could have made a better choice than that. But you know, the LED box and all that shit. I'm still laughing. But if you look at it at another level, he meant well. Well, he never meant well with any woman. But you get the point. He couldn't afford a real ring. But it was still a thought. It was still suggestive. And, you know, let's make this official that we're engaged, you know. And he didn't have the money. But if he would have saved the money from all the scamming and begging and all the shit that he did, then he would have had the money to buy her a real ring. I would not, you know, my girlfriend has rings from me. They're not made of tin, but even if it was, it did have the same meaning, at least with us, anyway. But I would never, again, that's just me, I would never a tin ring on my woman's finger. It would have the same meaning. Don't get me wrong. It would have the same meaning. Understand me on that. I'm coming from two different levels of looking at this. Everything has a meaning. Take something out of a Cracker Jack box to have a meaning. And when you could afford it, you know, get a nicer ring. And there's really nothing wrong with it. Stuff going on for the school. Yeah, little function is performed for the school. Oh boy, what's going on? Little mess in the sink, all the cooking, and this is for the school. Let's go see what the girls are up to. Okay, every now and then there's a little feeding session that goes on at the school that my girlfriend's involved with. So you're out here and you're doing it by wood fire this time. And what exactly?
Wood cook, not wood fire.
What do you cook it up? And what do you? And that is rice of some.
Rice with chicken.
Rice with chicken.
And then with egg.
With eggs in it. And what do you call this?
Puspas.
What is it called?
Puspas.
Puspa?
Pas.
Pushpat.
Pas.
Puspa.
Puspas.
Fusfat.
Pas.
Fusfas.
Oh.
Fusfas, okay.
Not fat.
Oh, look at that cauldron of nutrition. Yeah.
See?
And that's for lunch. Now, that's
And
pretty,
sticky rice.
that's basically, well, sticky rice.
Yeah.
With has chicken in it and everything. It's kind of a soup in a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Puspas is a soup.
Fusfas. Fusfas.
Puspas.
I forget it. I'm not going to. Now, what is the purpose? Now, there's a feeding program.
For the nutrition feeding program.
Nutrition feeding program at the school. Okay. Yeah. And she has involvement with that. And they're out here at the table just, well, they're preparing all this and whatever they prepared in the house. They got a shitload of hard-boiled eggs in there and other stuff cooking up. And here we go. Trying to put the face of somebody in there too much because, you know, we don't want to get in big trouble here, but the least of my worries. But anyway, that's what's going on. A lot of parents get involved with feeding programs at the school. And they do this every now and again. And this is what this is all about. We did have a blackout this morning. We got the generator running. Old Bessie was going strong. She was going strong. Didn't last as long as we thought. Thank goodness for that. And I was just practically falling asleep in my chair, actually. I said, let me get up and move my blood. I went downtown, got a few supplies. Oh, and change is going on. A store that's been here forever, Kerwin's, is now going to be going to, let's see. Is it Medellin? No, it's not. They're going to another part of Battaglia. Because what's happening is, what's forcing a lot of businesses to go somewhere else is because the high taxation system that's going on here in a lot of the provinces, and that's forcing this store to change locations because they're getting taxed at it. Whose food?
You.
What do you have?
I chicken.
Oh, some chicken stuff. I just had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I was happy with that. I didn't know you cooked anything. Let's go visit. A little pastoral scene here. See the moo cows. So it's forcing stores to close. Now, Kerwin's has been here certainly ever since I've ever been here. Oh, I might have had some leaves for you from the coconut thing. I don't have. Maybe I should bring over for you. And you're checking me out? I don't have anything. Maybe I'll bring you over some leaves or something. What do you think about that? Huh? I think I might have a few. It's nice because I got that country, feel here. Here, let me scratch you. Here, scratch. There you go. I scratch. He's like my dog. You like that? You get these flies on him all the time. I said, we're going to get rid of these fucking flies. You can't be scared of the creatures. They don't hurt you here. They could if they wanted to. Okay, we got goats out here too. Maybe I got some leaves for you. Let me check. Okay, so... don't walk in that. They say if you step in shit, it's good luck, but no, I think you just got to clean your shoes. The Pont de Rosé. Here you go. I haven't gotten around to finishing the wall yet. I will. Don't worry, I will. I got that side for the most part. A little bit on the bottom. I can see some spots that are looking... I don't know why they got dirty. I just did that. Okay, I got to hit the bottom there somewhere. We had some banana leaves over here. What happened to them? Okay, I did find a few that we pulled off here. All right. It's enough to whet the appetite of this cow. And we don't let these things go to waste because... And these cows are actually very fortunate. Remember last year, big ass drought going on. And therefore, one of them either starved or dehydrated or both, whatever. And created a neighborhood concern because the carcass was rotting. So I'm going to give this cow a little treat here. And we try to do our part in the community. Of course we do. Schools, even animals. There you go, girl. Look what I got for you. Look what I got for you. I didn't forget you. There you go. There you go. There you go. Wow. Look at her go at that. The grass ain't enough for me all the time. Thank you. They got a strong jaw. These things were vicious. But they don't have any buck teeth, though. Oh, the goat's upset. Well, I'm just taking care of Mama Cow here. Now let's go look at that witch's cauldron here. How's that coming along? How are you going to cool that stuff off to bring it to the school? I don't know. This can't be a lunch program because it's beyond lunchtime, isn't it? And then by the time that stuff cools off, how are you going to carry it there?
Pile.
Don't worry, your face is not on camera here.
Not
And you're taking the hard-boiled eggs, splitting them up.
Yeah, and then put it back, and then every time we give the half of eggs. So,
They get half an egg each or something.
hot.
They're hot. I know they're hot.
Not hot, huh?
So this is the final product. Yeah.
Kisang pinagnilang mo daw ang kanang sudan.
Well, anyway, the girls are hard at work. And they did this outside. Normally, cooking we do inside all the time. But for this, with the big pot, this warranted actually doing this outside here. Oh, God, she even made me something. After doing all that, she made the time. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Well, I told her I sort of don't eat that, but I will. It's a chicken tocino and some lettuce and fries. And well, I try to tell her that I'm kind of really watching my potatoes and such. But since she made it. I'm not real big on chicken tocino, but there's something I do eat. Bolagari or something. It's like chicken tocino. It's beef, though. There's just some plain lettuce here. I've got some dressing for it. But I'd rather sometimes eat the plain lettuce. And of course, it's not romaine, which is, that's certainly what I would buy over in Cebu. And you're not really going to find it here, unfortunately. This is chicken tocino, which is a popular Philippines dish. And it's basically a very lean part of the chicken. I used to have a taste for this. I cut it here. Let me taste it again. Yeah. I mean, I like chicken, but I don't know, maybe I'll save this for later. I'm not real big on tocino. I always tell her, don't put potatoes in front of me because, well, I'm going to probably eat them. But it's not top ramen. All right. Well, I didn't eat the chicken tocino because there's like a lot of additives and preservatives there. And I have a thing with texture too. I don't like real thick pieces of chicken or big cubed out pieces. I like thin chicken, or it's according how you prepare it. And they're getting ready to go here. Deliver us to the school. They'll be there just enough to serve it. It's actually for one of the classrooms. They can't feed the whole school, obviously. But the fact that they do this is really nice, and I think there's malunggay if you want to. We always have malunggay going here. And she utilizes it. Malunggay. They feel it's secure for just about anything, really. Bougainvillea. Always reminds me of Hawaii because bougainvillea was just about everywhere there. And of course, hibiscus. Who could forget about hibiscus? And my dusty old island, huh? Well, they sure talk about my dusty old island a lot, and in a very positive way. I hear a lot of vloggers boasting about Battaglia, but I get to live here. Yeah. And we go through quite a bit of water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what does it cost? It's usually, I think, 20 pesos per bottle. Like I once mentioned, you could definitely sort of mistrust these filling stations on how Good they actually filter the water, but we haven't been sick on this yet, I can tell you that. Wow, gotta get this bolo knife all fixed up here. Imagine having that in your fucking head. Oh my God. Went to the produce market, bought some more cucumbers, potatoes, peppers, cabbage, some oranges. We have some mangoes. Usually we make a drink out of this. And of course, we always get lemons because I try to make a lemonade out of it. No sugar, none. But that helps with, over time, it's not a miracle drug. Helps with the formation, that you might get of kidney stones. She said, don't worry, I'll do the dishes when I get back. I'll just surprise her and do all the dishes for her. She's been doing all this cooking for the school. Yeah, we are community-minded. Well, that's my short. Baggio. And he's eating all this highly caloric, horrible street food. Horrible, horrible shit. And he's talking about, losing weight, but I said, well, same thing I say to anybody else. Watch what you put in your mouth. He goes, well, what about you? I said, hey, I only weigh 168 pounds, dude. And what's your excuse? He goes, a lot of people in my family are overweight. Why are they overweight? Because they all eat like a fucking sow. I mean, let's get down and dirty with the subject and really get down and dirty. Stop blaming conditions. Stop blaming you think it's genetics. Fuck the genetics. Genetics may work with certain things like certain diseases, but it's, for your weight, it's all you. It's all you, buds. It's all you. It's all you. So Kiki in the Philippines, kind of an interesting guy, sort of, kind of. And he was at the same place as I was in Baguio. He went to the night market, all that stuff, and I recognized all the foods when I was there. The only thing I really ate in the streets was shawarma, which I thought was very good, actually. The best version of shawarma I've ever had, really. I enjoyed it. Maybe because I was extra hungry at the time. But I was watching what Kiki ate on some of his shows, and I'm saying that with no wonder. While I was there in Baguio, he takes they had a corn stand there, nibbled corn. It was just covered in vegetable oil and fake cheese or something they had in it. Oh, this is good. Big colander, whatever he had of that shit. And they, and I hear this all the time, and they wonder why they gain weight. Look at fucking Big Kevin. Look what the motherfucker eats. I'm just going to lay it out straight, man. Because this is tiring to hear this and see this. It really is. You are what you fucking eat, mofos. You are what you eat. Okay? Shut your mouth. For a lot of reasons, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth to excessive food and watch what you eat. Sure, it's okay. Have a donut now and then. I sure do. I put that right up front. I have a chocolate chip cookie now and then. I refuse things. My girlfriend made me a lunch today that I didn't realize she prepared because she was so busy. And I have a little piece coming up as far as community-minded people, such as me and Gilda, as she is to school. And you'll see that. For some reason, I don't know why. It's not a really long video. It was going to take 80 minutes to upload. I have no idea. So it's still uploading. So you got this train of thought on here. They always want to blame something on somebody else. Always blaming somebody for something. They see how fat and unhealthy they get. Oh, and Kiki's saying it's genetics, man. It's genetics. No, Kiki, you're a nice guy, blah, 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 nothing against you, dude, but that's where I got to put my mouth in on this. As I told him, man, I said, fuck the genetics, man. You go read my comment. Fuck the genetics, man. Everything is not genetics. You can't blame everything on genetics. You can even, longevity, you can't even really give that 100% either. That's only maybe 20% to 25 at best is how long you're going to live. You want to base it on genetics. But you can't do that. Everybody's situation is different. But they make this, I've been fat all my life and all that. I know the general. I'm going to eat what I want. I'm going to, I know you get tired of hearing about this obesity shit on here, but I've been pushing it like a mofo because it's so apparent on here, all the obese people. And then they get mad at me because they're obese. And they get mad at me because I'm talking about it. Well, I don't know how mad at me. Well, the obvious people would. But they want to cover it up like some political situation. Oh, yeah, I'll talk about you. I'll throw the bad comments at you. But I don't want to mention about my weight. Let's kind of put that to the side so people don't attack me for that. Oh, we wouldn't want to do that. Oh, we would never want to do that. Why would we want to do that? And I don't think I go on anybody's attack, as the word might imply, attack. Nope. I just put it out there and say, hey, what's your excuse, pal? You want to be different? You got to do things differently in your life. If I would eat a lot of the things at one time in my life I used to eat, there was even a time in Hawaii that, I had this girlfriend, Filipina, and we get together, and we were a bad influence. She was a bad influence. I don't know. We go to Safeway. We buy this, coconut cream pie, or what is it? No, actually, it was macadamia nut cake or whatever. We'd have Fritos chips with the Tostitos dip, the crappy cheese dip, that kind of shit. And I was up to about 195 pounds. But if you saw me, that was a crazy thing about that, too. My weight was kind of evenly distributed. I just looked like I was, as one lady in a clinic once said to me when I had lost weight one time, she said, what happened to you? You used to look like a strapping young man. Strapping. I've always loved that word, strapping. I was overweight. I was overweight, not realizing it. So I stopped eating all that crap. And the girlfriend I had at the time, she was influencing me on that. If you saw her today, but the last time I ever seen her in Hawaii, when she was working a local job in Curtistown, about 5 miles down the highway from me, and she was out vaping. I guess she was trying to quit smoking. Sat down with her, talked to her a little bit, and at a distance, I hardly recognized her, really. She looked like a roly-poly. Now, she was never what you call thin, even when I was with her. No, but she was like, like I said, put a red, white, and blue shirt on her, and she looked like a beach ball. I'm thinking to myself, God, how did you let yourself go that way? Of course, I didn't tell her that. I was just keeping that to myself, And I've seen these changes with a number of people in my life. My own sister, she, the last pictures I've seen of her when I know of her is that she was like that beach ball. And I'm sorry, but man, I just, in her case, maybe her bad back, this and that, inactivity will do that to you. Yeah, there are some excuses, lack of activity, but you got to push yourself sometimes. The first thing I did really, actually before I even did a show this morning, I didn't do a big distance, but I did 1.5 miles on the treadmill to get my blood flowing. I did a couple little weight exercises. That was about it today. But, I'm doing something. I'm sorry, but, it's been like an ongoing topic with me on here because, in all honesty, I get so tired of hearing this crap of people making excuses for their obesity. Oh, they want to change, but they don't do anything to change it. Then they drop dead, just like the guy that just died at the port. He was Filipino, not American or nothing. He was Filipino, and he was doing. He's buying a ticket to go to Cebu, man. That's all he was doing, going on with his life. He gets struck with a massive heart attack. He died. Because people, they want to continue with a certain kind of lifestyle, and they think they're going to just like live forever. But unfortunately in life, it doesn't work that way. It don't work that way. As much as you would like to think it does, that you've been saying to yourself, well, fuck this. I've been lucky so far. I'm going to just continue to do the same shit I'm doing all the time. I'm sorry, man, but it doesn't work that way. I don't know. Get a fucking treadmill. Get a bike. Get some fucking weights. Get something. Do something. There's no more excuse for this, and I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to hear any more excuses about somebody being overweight and they don't want to do shit about it. It gets tiring to hear about it. I get tired of even look at these people. I'm healthier than you. I'm going to live longer than you. The hell you are. The fucking hell you are. In your wildest fucking dreams, you're going to live longer than me. Be as beast as you are, and how long you've been a beast all your life, and your eating habits, no supplements, no really deep, dark, nice green vegetables and things that are going to be conducive to your health. You're doing it to yourself. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Nobody forces anybody to do something they don't want to do. That would be a crime. It's hard to be Mr. Nice Guy with this shit. And I've been Mr. Nice Guy. I've been giving some really good advice. But they say about advice, right? The person's got to be able to take your advice and learn from the experience, what they're going through, and they could certainly do things that could correct some of the things that they're doing wrong in their life. They don't have a woman, go out and get a fucking woman. Go apply yourself in life. Stop bitching and whining, complaining. And if you don't like the Philippines, then fucking leave it. I say that too. Then fucking leave it. Stop doing shows about everything you hate about the Philippines. I talk about it. There's some things that I find a little bit uncomfortable about the Philippines. Infrastructure, there's a lot of different little things. But all in all, I love the Philippines. And as far as I'm concerned, this is my home. And it has been for quite a while. Oh, I admit there's nothing perfect here. Fuck no. There is no such thing as perfection in the Philippines, I'll tell you that. And I'll never say there is. But get with the program, guys. If you ain't got shit going on in your life, brother, if you ain't got shit going on in your life, then you do something about it and stop bitching and complaining. Get off the bitching platform is what I say. I'm tired of hearing this shit on here. I'm tired of the insults being flown back and forth, coming from people who are total fucking losers and have proved that they are in more ways than one. Get your act together. Get your act together. You won't have to bitch and be bitter and whine all the time. You want some cheese with that fucking wine? Do you? Stop complaining. Let me tell you something. I've been through a whole lot of shit. I've been through this trial thing with Barry. I got his fucking girlfriend's phony ass motherfucking complaint. I still go on my life every day and I handle it like I normally do. I'm not going to stress out for that kind of shit. People want your life to be hard. They don't wish you well, and nobody has a friend on here. You might think YouTubers are friendly with each other. They even get together now and then. That's all facade. It's all bullshit for show. It's all for show. Nobody has a true friend here on YouTube. It's not designed that way. And even all these people in Dumageddon, they're all fighting with each other. All the goddamn fucking expats are all fighting with each other in Dumageddon. They were dumb to move there in a dumbass town. Who the fuck wants to live in a town that's overrun by fucking creepy crawler Filipino taking advantage of foreigners? That all hear this on YouTube, that Dumageddon is the place to move. And they hear it, and they hear it. Big Paul lives there. You got other people living there in Dumageddon. That's got to be the place to be. Then they go there and they have all kinds of problems. All kinds of problems. Dumageddon, yeah. Hello, Counterflow. Fucking cheeseheads. And all I hear in here is complaining. Complaining. The only real thing I complain about is the humidity. That's my real biggest complaint about the Philippines is the humidity. I hate it. I wish it was different, but it's not. But you have to live with it, right? But you know what, man? You got to also live with yourself, too. Think about that. We have no sterling characters on here. I'm not even a sterling character on here. We all got our fucking faults. And our biggest fault is coming on fucking YouTube. That's our biggest fault among everything else. If you've entrusted other people on YouTube, sometimes you never even met. You don't even have followers that are true. Most of my followers are all fucking trolls going under different account names. I know they are. But when they're friendly with me, no matter what name they're under, if they're not causing problems, they're fine. I know that most of you that follow my show are mostly trolls. I mean, you're not telling me something that I don't know, but I figure whoever is welcome on my show is welcome there as long as they behave. I got nothing to lose. Oh, what's the newest thing? Oh, Frank don't even make money on his show. Kevin made how much money he made? Well, duh. I'm not monetized. I can't make money on my show. Duh. Oh my God. They come up with the lamest fucking statements on here. The lamest statements. Well, you've been pretty platinum, Counterflow, yeah. Yeah. You've been good. So, when I was listening to this guy's show, and he's talking about having this weight problem, and he obviously does. Okay, Frank, with his advice, said a few words to him. It's genetics. Everybody in my family is overweight. I'm sorry. I don't buy it. Don't try to sell that train of thought to me because bullshit. You like eating and you'll eat anything that don't eat your back. If it can't eat your back, you'll eat it. Ain't that the truth? Remember, you got two types of people. People who live to eat and there's people who eat to live. I'm a person who eats to live. Okay? Because you have to. But if you're just living to eat, that's where your problem comes in. So stop complaining. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings on here. I'm like the most direct motherfucker you're ever going to meet on this fucking YouTube, and you know that. You've been listening for a long time. I tell it like it is. I'm not intimidated by anybody. That's why I've been here for 10 years. I've never been intimidated by anybody on here, and I'm still not intimidated by anybody, be it Filipino, be it American, whatever you are. I don't give a shit who you are. I'm not intimidated by anybody by threats on email. I'm not intimidated by anybody by how much money you fucking got, how thick your wallet is. You're not intimidating me. Not at all. And some people say, well, you went after the Barry because he didn't have any money to defend himself. I would have went after Barry whether he had money or not. Let's correct that. Let's get that out in the open. I don't care how much money you have. I'll still go after you if I had to. Money ain't the point. Their money spends the same as my peso spends. Anyway, I did make a real nice tuna macaroni salad today. Tuna macaroni? That could work. No, she left with, she made this tocino thing, and I don't really like the chicken tocino. When it first came out, I used to eat it, but I wound up eating a couple of French fries and some lettuce. That's what I had for lunch because they were too busy making. You'll see my upload coming up here. I don't know why it's taking so long. It's pretty strange. It's not a long video, but the upload on this, for some reason, maybe I got to clean out some of my videos or something, my memory, but it's taking forever. And I don't have it set on high resolution or nothing. I checked, and I don't see anything, it's set for automatic. It'll adjust, whatever. Unless there's another setting on there that I hit one time for high resolution. I don't know. Nothing should take that long to upload. I wonder. But, These are people that claim to be pillars of the community, but they're not. For those that actually live, I would look at my analytics, and 65% of the people that watch my show don't even live in the Philippines. Isn't that amazing? 65% of the people, they're mostly males, up to age about 54 average, just few women, and 65% don't even live in the fucking Philippines. So the funny thing is I got a lot of Koreans on here, and I'm not sure why there's Koreans, unless somebody was buying me subs and it's coming from a Korean-based system or something. I don't know. There's probably more Korean names on my subscriber list than there are any other names on here. And if anybody could answer that for me, I sure appreciate wanting to understand that or know what that's all about. Yeah. But as I was listening to this guy's video, and it's just a poor-ass excuse. That fucking guy died at the port because he was fucking fat. His liver, he had a large liver, of course. Fatty liver. He had cholesterol up to kazoo, well beyond the accepted range, which can go up to 300 overall, and you still be fine. Starts getting over 300, you become a little concerned. That's when cholesterol actually becomes an issue. Normally it isn't. But if your diet is that bad and your overall cholesterol level is 300, 400, 500, man, you better go see a specialist, like right away. I've been living with this so long, this is what I weigh. Well, good for you. How long you gonna live? You really think you're gonna outlive me? I don't think so. Even though I smoke, you really think you're gonna outlive me? I don't think so. I just don't think so. And some of the people who have died were obese. They were overweight. In fact, most of them that passed away were overweight. Duh, hello. I wonder why. Doesn't take much thinking, folks. You got some fucking screwballs that are always knocking me left and right. They knocked me on the Copycat channel and they make comments on Kevin's show. And these are the asshole trolls claiming to have this wonderful fucking 5-star life, but they're not. They're trying to stay alive. They go out and have tremendous meals, some of them, float their money around. Look at me, I'm living the 5-star lifestyle. No, you're not. You think you are. Tell that to the organs in your body. Ask your organs if they could talk. Are you guys living the 5-star lifestyle? Hell no, says the liver. I got cirrhosis happening right now. I'm fatty liver. Kidneys start talking. They're not filtering properly. Oh, gee, I wonder why. Do you drink? Oh, that's why. What foods you eat? Oh, that's why. The pancreas. Well, you'll know that happens because there's no turning back. The pancreas just surprises you. Surprise! Yeah. Then the heart. They wonder why they sweat profusely when they walk a half a block. Half a block, even if it is humid, even if it is hot and sunny. To sweat so profusely. Ricky showed up in SNR one time, looked like he went under a goddamn shower. He was so fucking big, I used a joke, needed his own fucking zip code. Sweating from head to toe from walking from his apartment in SNR. So fucking fat that he said, I can't find shorts that'll fit me. I said, well, lose fucking weight. You big old fucking cow. Lose fucking weight. I don't want to hear your problems with your weight. Take care of business, man. Jesus Christ, folks. I don't even feel like talking about this no more. In fact, with all this talk, I think I'm going to go lift a couple of dumbbells and hydrate a little bit. I don't want to hear your poor excuses, man. You're going to live longer than me, huh? Well, maybe you will. I don't know my faith. And I'll tell you, no matter what supplements I take and how good my diet is, that's a help. I never said it was a cure-all. But I'll assure you I'm in a better position than most people on here. That I could say, even at my age. Even if I smoke. Thank goodness I don't drink. I didn't need both evils in my life. Got enough evil on YouTube to last me a lifetime. But drinking, well, that's never going to happen. Ever. Ever. And I'm certainly not going to spend my life hanging around a fucking seedy, smelly bar with a bunch of fucking whores. That's why you moved to the Philippines for that? You could have done that at home, where you came from. Did you come over here instead of experiencing the culture? You come here to chase tail because you heard you could get a laid real easy out here, just flash them a drink. Right, Kevin? Flash them a drink. Or Ricky or anybody, flash them a drink. Give them a little bit of money. No, you'll have companionship. You're guaranteed. Well, most of you are guaranteed. I can't guarantee everybody because let me tell you, even Filipinos that engage in prostitution, even they have a limit. Even they have a limit of what they're going to go out with and fuck. They have a limit too. Don't think they don't. They do. Even they don't want to touch certain people. Like that fucking Kevin. Fucking fucktard. I don't care if he got a bowling knife in his fucking head. He probably deserved it. Oh, I'm living a good life. Yeah, okay, I'm going to walk down the street. I'm going to show Frank. You're always trying to show me, Kevin. Don't show me. I told you. Show yourself. You don't have to please me. I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not even sure what direction you go in life, men or women. You showed a picture of some chick on there. I swear to God, it was a ladyboy. Somebody that Ricky would really just love to go out with. What I saw in that picture, man, nearly threw me off my fucking bed. And you had the gall to put that fucking photo on with that woman's head as bigger than Big E's head? You out of your monkey ass mind. Have a good day, guys. My entertainment session is over.
Breakfast time, 5-egg Spanish Western omelet, little thing of a pork, and my pills, heart, cholesterol, vitamins, so diabetic.
Great big cabin grind down. It seems to me that the cabin is running out of steam. Your cabin. Hate to tell you that. Go. Running out of steam, my boy. Should it worth pursuing? Is it worth your time? Yeah, I should have thought about that a long time ago. You left yourself wide open with me, pal. Afraid to tell you that. Oh well, that kind of shit'll grind you down. You got kind of enough problems going on already, you know what I mean? Oh, haven't worked my bolo knife yet. Gotta shine 'em up. the rust on here, make it sharper. A little bushwhacking around the house, a little bushwhacking. Bushwhacking, yeah, bushwhacking. Wackadoo, 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 baby. I don't know, you're kind of running out of steam, Cabin. You're starting to really actually bore me now. I don't know what to talk about. Gets to that point, it's over. It's been over for you a long time ago. You know that. It's a matter of time, Big Cabin. It's a matter of time. You're going to be another statistic on here, unfortunately for you. And, of course, by your own doing. Of course, not by me or anybody else. It's by your own doing. See, that's the beauty of it, Cabin. Sometimes you just have to, all you have to do is sit back and let people make fools of themselves like you do very meticulously. And just a matter of time that we won't have to hear you on here anymore. Yep. Time in a bottle. If I could catch time in a bottle. Steak. Steak. I tell you, steak. Oh, cabin. Now, when I say I'm getting bored, that's something to listen to because it takes a bit to get me bored. I mean, you know, even your show. You get to the point where you kind of need the help from your friends, so-called, to back you up on everything. Because the truth is, you don't know what the hell to talk about. If I could put time in a bottle, I'd bury every show you ever made. Save you the embarrassment of people who will watch your show in the future. I could do one up on you on that. Hey, what's for dinner tonight, Big Cabin? What's for dinner? And what was Big E talking about? Talking about his woman. I wasn't talking about his woman as far as doing a show on Buck Teat. I think the shoe fits, wear it. I was not talking about her. I was talking about people with buck teeth in general. No names. Oh, no. No. I wouldn't do that. Shoe fits, wear it. I don't know. He's the one that made mention of it. I didn't. I was just doing a show. How I'm not really attracted to women with buck teeth. I mean, buck teeth. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, buck, like buckshot, you know. Yeah. I still like women with overbites. Bring back Gene Tierney. Actually, Susan Day, that was on the Partridge Family. Okay. Susan Day had that nice little overbite. She didn't have buck fuck teeth, you know. She had a nice little overbite. She still does, I think. And she's actually still looking good years later. Susan Day kept herself up pretty nice. I like that little overbite. It's very suggestive, you know, and it's, there's something about it that turns a lot of guys on. But buck teeth? Nah. No, how about buck teeth and freckles? What would put that two together? It'd be Alfred E. Newman. Did Alfred E. Newman have buck teeth? Yeah, a little bit. I guess he did. Alfred E. Newman. He had the flaming red hair and the freckles and the big old ears. I bet Alfred E. Newman got the chicks, though. Bet he did. Because he had personality. You gotta have personality, man. Not the same old shit you hear over and over again. Kevin, listen. Get a little bit more original. You're overplaying all these one-liners about me. I know you're wishing me death and all that, Kevin. I know. I know. I hate to tell you, you're going before me, Jack. You're going well before me. I almost put a guarantee on that sucker. You're going well before me. I've been doing a lot of shows about obesity, as you guys notice. I'm going to continue to do so. Why? Because it's world news. I mean, it's like a plague that's going on that has to be addressed because the average person these days is well over his body mass index. And what's going on? People just don't care anymore? Well, if they don't care, we shouldn't care, right? I'm just saying. I showed you a guy's video. He's a YouTuber, right? Okay. And this guy is like showing you his breakfast. It's made of 6 eggs. He's got a big fucking side of pork. And got my medicines here. Some vitamins. And I got my heart medicine, and my cholesterol medicine. You just sit there. I mean, that's okay. Compare this to a big fat guy that goes into one of those all-you-can-eat places, right? Oh, no, let's say it's a restaurant. Okay, a restaurant, a regular restaurant. Orders this big, high-fat, saturated fat consumption food, you know. High in cholesterol, saturated fats. Sir, would you like something to drink with that meal? I'll have a Diet Coke. This is what I mean. This is why it's so fucking funny. It's serious, but it's funny. Like this guy, I showed you his video, and he's over there proud of his big-ass breakfast. And literally, you know, 6 eggs. The omelet was made of 6 eggs and all the shit in you could possibly think of. And he's got this nice side of fucking pork in there. And alongside here, what I take is I got my vitamins, my heart medicine, and my cholesterol medicine. Now, wait a minute, slow down. Let's slow this tape down. You got your what? Heart medicine, cholesterol medicine, and vitamins? Like those vitamins are going to make a difference? And you're defeating the purpose, aren't you, sir? Why do you have statin drugs? It's a statin drug. That's what he has cholesterol. It was statins. They're worse than having the cholesterol itself. Statins will fuck you up. Nobody knows this. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. So, isn't that kind of ironic? And I can think of a lot of words. I mean, he's over there eating the fattiest, high cholesterol, 6 eggs, not 2, 6. All the trimmings and a hunk of fucking pork. And he's over there on his plate boasting about how he's got his vitamins and his statin drugs and heart medication. And what is he eating? The point being, if you haven't caught on, is that, I don't know if it's an oxymoron. There's a lot of words. I mean, it's hypocrisy at its best, or it's just insanity. Why bother with those vitamins and statin drugs and heart medicine if you're not going to stick to the proper diet? How are those medicines going to help if you don't watch your diet? This is my point I'm making. It doesn't make any sense. Are these people really that fucking stupid on here? Could this be for real? Yeah, I guess it is. You can't help but laugh and feel sorry for the guy at the same time. Now he has to go to Manila and have all kinds of imaging and shit done. I want to hear that show. That's the one I want to hear. That's the baby. When he finds out how horribly his arteries are clogged and that he probably has a heart condition His liver enzymes are probably through the roof. And gosh, who knows anything else? He's going to have a wake-up call. And he was having problems because of his weight. And that's what prompted him to see a doctor. It's running him scared. Running him scared? But he's sitting there with his breakfast, 6 fucking eggs. Not 1, not 2. A 6-egg omelet with all the crap in there you could ever put that you don't want to put in there. Alongside a good hunk of pork. Now, what's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this picture? You know, go see that video anyway. I think I got it on there. It's a good example of expats that come to this country. It's so absurd. You're defeating the purpose of why you're seeing a doctor and getting imaging tests done and all that shit. And you're sitting there eating a 6-egg omelet and a piece of pork. Really? Maybe I missed something in that video. I don't think so. It was short, so I must have seen it all. Same goes for these goobers out there that are extraordinarily overweight. And they have a whole lot to say about me. Don't worry, dudes. Don't worry about me. I'm fine, thank you very much. Worry about yourself. Because you're not far off from that guy's video I put on. You're not far off at all. And sometimes 10 or 20,000 steps are just not going to do the trick. You just got to shut your fucking mouth. As far as this buck teeth shit going, I never said nobody's names. No. If you got a guilty conscience about something, I never said nobody's names. I made no reference to anybody. I just said, you ever seen people who have this buck teeth? And especially people that have money to take care of it. And they don't. I'd understand if you didn't have any money. But if you have the money, if you happen to have the money, how come you're not taking care of it? Sorry, I don't get it. I'm telling you the truth. It's not attractive to me. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing criminal. Not saying nothing criminal on here. They made no references to anybody on here at all. Nobody, no names. You can't just assume I'm talking about any particular people. Sorry. But I say if the shoe fits, wear it. That's what I do say. If you got a guilty conscience about it, then oh well, don't look at me. Don't look at me. No, George. Don't look at me. You got a guilt complex about something, man? Take care of it. That scares me to death. To see people in a dark alley coming at me with big old buck teeth like that. You know, white that shows out in the dark. Scary shit. Like a horror show. Or something out of sci-fi. That could be awfully scary. See something like that in a dark alley, you better run, brother. You better run. And I would run. Damn. Damn. Holy shit. But anyway, that's a matter of opinion here, and I just say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if it is broke and you got the money to fix it, then fix it, for God's sakes. Really, for God's sakes. Fix the goddamn thing. I remember Dimitri, he was kind of a Greek guy. He was a car mechanic in Seattle, told this story. And he was a horny man. This guy was such a dirty old Greek Mexican guy. He looked more Mexican than Greek. He ran the dirtiest shop in town, really. He didn't do the best work either. Body work and painting, when he tried to do that, he did it in a dusty garage. With all kinds of shit in there and fans blowing around the dust. But anyway, that's the background. The rarity, he got a woman. And he got some fat one. And he was kind of pushy with her, you know. Basically, if I have to get graphic, because he wanted her to perform oral on him. She took another look at him and said, I just can't do this, you know. So she goes running out the door. Now, Dimitri already has his fucking pants down. He's got a heart on. This is a true story. I didn't make this up. He's a friend of Bill, the guy I know in Ocean Shores. And he's running down the street. Where you going? Where you going? What? Suck the goddamn thing. Suck the goddamn thing, he said to her. Suck the goddamn thing. Oh, shit. So many stories to tell. Not enough time to do so, you know. That story was shared to me by Bill, who is a friend of Dimitri's. Well, he hasn't been a good friend to him because I don't really think he keeps in touch. Dimitri's had all kinds of medical situations going on. I'm not even sure if he's alive. I got to call his number again. He had given up the shop to his cousin or something. He just had so many health problems. But I always remember that story. It's a real story. We both know Dimitri and how he is. Dimitri would do that. He would. Suck the goddamn thing, he said. Suck the goddamn thing. Don't run away. Suck the goddamn thing. Oh, Dimitri. Oh, jeez. He was a really interesting character, I must say, in Seattle. His business was in the Ballard area. Yeah. And it's the ricketiest shop you've ever had there. He wasn't even licensed for a lot of shit, and, you know, he had no ventilation, proper ventilation when he decided to paint somebody's car, do a fender fix or something, and half the time he didn't even wear a mask, and then he decided to buy a burned out building over in, what do you call Washington, old lumber town? What's the name of that town with an A? It's been a while, folks, you know. And thought he was going to make a good investment on this. But, see, the deal is the town was dead because the lumber industry had moved out of it. So he thought he got this great deal. He'll be able to turn it over or fix it up. He never did. Never did. Bill maybe offered to buy it off him. But Bill, you know, he wants something for nothing. He's always very tight with his money. That's why he's got a lot of money, actually. Bill's got a lot of money. He's building houses. Son learned to trade. God bless him. God bless him. God bless them both. But then Dimitri wound up with this worthless property. He's made a lot of mistakes like that. Know what you're buying. Know the demographics of the area, you know. I'm not a real estate person, but I know that much. The Adventures of Dimitri. That's what made Seattle kind of exciting, meeting people like him. And I did meet a few. I did. Ask Bill. Bill will tell you stories about Dimitri. Oh, I can tell you stories about Bill, too. Yeah. Anyway, Cabin is, he's kind of grinding down. I hear it in his voice. He had to do a short. Again, it was about me. Again. Do you understand, Kevin, that this obsessive behavior of yours? Really obsessive. I still think you're attracted to me. I still think you must be attracted to me, and some others too. I don't know. Just a feeling I get. Or anybody who obsesses about me that much, there has to be an attraction factor. I know I'm a good-looking guy for my age. I know that. But, you know, I'm not vain. You're so vain. They should have wrote a song about you. You're so vain. No, that's not me. I'm not vain at all. Although they idolize me and, you know, I don't know, maybe I got something going for me here. I don't know. I'm the same guy. I look in the mirror every day. And, no, I'm not a bad-looking old fellow, but I'm not sure what they see in me, really. I'm an older guy, you know. Can't help the aging process, but I know I look better than most people on here. I can tell you that. That's not vanity talking, it's just fact. Hey, Randy. Cabin attempting to one-up you all the time unsuccessfully. I know. Isn't that great? He's making such a fool of himself on here. I want him to make more. I encourage him to make more videos about me. Give me the status. Build up my status on here. Get me more subs and viewers, all that shit, Kevin. Keep it up. Keep the good work up. But everything builds up to a point, where they're creating internal stress with themselves, especially Kevin, who can't afford that. He's going to have a fucking heart attack on camera one day. Surprised it didn't happen with Fazio on camera. Truthfully, he's on there so long. If anything was going to happen, it was going to happen on camera, but it apparently didn't. Yeah, we weren't that lucky to witness it. Yeah, Randy, he's attempting a one-up on me, but he just can't win. He just hasn't so far. But you've got to understand, Randy, that he needs me as his topic matter. He has no show at all, and he has no reason to put on a show. And the only thing that attracts people to his show, they know he's going to be talking about me. Well, let's look at it this way. I croaked or got off YouTube or something. What's he going to talk about? What now, Big Cabin? What would you do with your life? Would I give you a reason to go on with your life, perhaps? Cabin reminds me of Weebles, Wobby, and they all fall down. I know, it's called, yeah, Weebles, Wobble. And you remember that toy? I'm surprised you don't have that. He's into toys. His mentality, Weebles, Wobble, and they don't fall down. Yeah, the bald head, the whole... No, he reminds me of Humpty Dumpty. He reminds me of Humpty Dumpty. With the bald head, it all comes together. Just sitting on a wall. And if Kevin fell, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Kevin together again. You better avoid a fall there, Cabin. Really. You can't afford a fall, buddy. Not only are you going to break the sidewalk somewhere and someone's going to have to repair it, but they're going to have to take your fucking lifeless body, take about 6 Thai people with great strength to put you on the gurney, bring you to the morgue. I wouldn't want to be the ambulance crew that tries to pick him up. Kevin, your day's coming, man. Face it. The Grim Reaper is already out there. He's got his black cloak on. He's got his, he's got his sickle and everything, man. He's got his hoodie on. He's waiting for you, Kevin. He's calling your name. You don't hear it? I heard it. I heard his name. I heard him calling. You got to have a sixth sense to understand this. Not a sixth sense, but that too. A sixth sense. Keep it up, Kev. I'm loving every minute of it. Please stress yourself out. Get the cortisol level going to your heart. Talk about me every day. Get all upset. Make all your comebacks. Or you could play it safe and just admit defeat. Because you've been defeated. You don't have an original comeback on anything, Kevin. It's just a lot of repetitive wobble-bobble. You think you keyboard warriors. Well, what are you, Kevin? You're a keyboard warrior. Blasting out all this nonsense from your mouth, all this blah, blah, blah shit. You're a keyboard warrior. I don't care how big you are. You're not going to fight anybody. You're not going to give me no knuckle sandwich, because if you had a knuckle sandwich, you'd probably eat it. That's my show for now.
Blinded in hopes that you still would be there. Recounting our brief love was all I could think of. Maybe